Hello, my lovely witches. Bit of an impromptu video today. I have been busy working at my altar and I recently changed up the deity portion of my altar and added in my Baba Yaga, my beloved Baba Yaga. I've been working with her for a long time as a spirit or saint, and I just suddenly realised I wanted her on, to have her own space on the altar rather than just pulling out her candles or whatever very, occasionally. So I thought I'd do an altar tour. So here we are. We have the Kaliak section, which has been shifted around a little bit. It's still got most of the main items, the little cardboard shrine that I made at the back there. Then we have these two upcycled statues that I made into the Kaliak. We have her blue deer there and her current working candle, which is newly refreshed. We have the little sigil that I created for her, and a little offering bowl of bits and pieces, some of which I've created, like that little painted shell, and then there's some crystals and shells, stone with seaweed that I found on the beach. We have this little shell, which is actually an incense cone burner. So if I want to burn cone incense on there, I can. We have a little crystal ball for her and another little artwork that I created from a photograph that I took off the internet. And another statue that I made in middle school, I think. That I then later, as an adult, repainted to match the Kaliak. And my Kaliak vase, that was made by an amazing artist in Victoria, and a little orgonite pyramid for her. We have a deer antler for her as well. At the back there, we have the dark moon symbol, another little stone which was made by the Kainok Witch, a bone that I painted, and a little resin triple goddess symbol. You'll have to excuse me, I hadn't planned on doing this video. I'm a little bit breathless today and the arthritis is bad, so we'll see how we get going. So in the vase, in the Kaliak vase, are crow feathers or raven feathers that I find here. Some of them are also magpie feathers, and there's an owl feather at the back there as well. And then we come to the newly created Baba Yaga shrine. So I have this skull bowl with a chicken's foot. I probably should have said at the beginning of this, trigger warning for anyone that doesn't like animal parts. I apologize. There are animal parts on my altar. And I do use ethically sourced animal parts in my practice. And then we have a little skull candle here, but I love this skull candle so much, I'm not sure if I'll ever burn it, but I might. At the moment, it's just a representation on the altar for Baba. I've just recently got this gorgeous mortar and pestle for her, and a little crystal skull. And then we have her two candles, Art Witch candles that I created, just using images, again, found on the internet. That's a little bit, showing them is probably a little bit bad for the whole copyright issue, but apologies for that. Then we have the belladonna, which is a herb I associate with her. We have a little crone witch tea light. We have the little Baba Yaga hut that I made with a bottle of moon water there, and another resin crystal I created. And then my absolute favourite depiction of Baba Yaga's hut by Jan Pienkovsky. I wish I could buy an actual print of this, but I haven't been able to find one, not, recently. This is just printed off the internet. I actually have another artwork here that stays above my altar by Jan Piontkowski. This actually was a print from the 1970s, and if you zoom in closely, I hope you can see that with the glare, there is Baba Yaga's hut just there as well. So she's been there for a while. As you know, I have some artworks celebrating the Kaliak, my matron goddess, up the top here, and then we have some celebrating the Green Man and Kernanos, who is jointly my patron god, and some other bits and pieces I've created, and one of Molly Roberts' artworks. And then alongside Baba, we have Kernanos and the Green Man and his altar. We've got various statues of the Green Man or Kernanos on the altar, various things that I personally relate to him. That wand, which is a Green Man wand, another little offering bowl, including my little stone spirit. Feathers, there's a black cockatoo feather, a white cockatoo feather, magpie feather, and a kookaburra feather. And this is his candle that I light for him. And he also has a serpentine wand and an obsidian arrowhead and the full moon and the waxing moon. So that's the top of my altar. I'm going to sit down now. You can see the three deities now peacefully coexisting. I think it's interesting that I have not had any pushback from my matron or my patron. My matron, I think, really resonates with the crone energy that Baba Yaga gives. And my patron, I think, really resonates with the forest vibe that Baba Yaga has. So we're all living happily coexisting. Have this gorgeous little selenite snake up here as well. That was gifted to me by the amazing Smiling Witch. Just under that, you will see I've currently got the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle out. And I have my moon spoon up here, which I didn't do moon spoon last full moon, so that is waiting for a couple of days' time when the full moon in Sagittarius happens, and I will do it then. And I also have some full moon magic incense that I burn just on the full moon. In the little drawers underneath there, there's, what have we got? I've actually not got the candles lit on the altar, so I can actually show you other things. Little silver dish that is used for spellwork sometimes. This little drawer doesn't have that much in it. There's a little feather. This is the scroll that goes with Luna, the little ghost. Tells you all about her. And there's a little sun wheel incense holder. And a little cat offering bowl. Cat? Fox? I'm not sure. It's an empty oil bottle for adornment. That was an Earthly Alchemy ritual oil. It's a little piece of wood slice witchy art from Kira Adams. A couple of other oils. That's a sandalwood and lang lang. And this one's a third eye oil, I think. No, that's a stress relief oil. And then there's a couple of recipe cards just under that. And then I actually have put back this little wooden piece onto the desk, which is originally intended to hold dip pens. And then you can see underneath there is inkwells. And you've also got my Ndebele dolls. They are from South Africa, and they're Ndebele fertility dolls. I keep them on the altar for abundance, or I sometimes keep them on the altar for abundance. I don't have them on the altar all the time. We've got a little mistletoe wreath there. This little pen stand works really nicely to prop up, you know, images, cards, items, flattish sort of items to decorate my altar. Over here, along with the moon theme, I've got my little moons of the year books and cards. I've got some little cards that are representative of different sabbats and things, bits and pieces. I'm not going to try and take you through those because I'm doing this one-handed and we're already wobbly enough as it is. There's some affirmation cards and things in there as well. Where do we go next? I'll go over here. So I have, this is my wand for working with the Kaliak that I made. There is some tea lights in that drawer, so I won't open that. We have a little pentacle, which I'm just going to pop up over there for now. Over here we have this little elephant incense burner. We have a chunky piece of clear quartz. This is actually, was given to me by my sibling, and it's the same model of car that I own, and I thought it would be a good item to use in spellwork for protection on journeys and that sort of thing. In here, this is actually my very first pentacle. It's very faded now, but you might just be able to make out the star, the 5-pointed star pentagram on that was painted and drawn on with pens, and I used that on my altar for a lot of years, but it is incredibly old. I'm not sure what's in here. Oh, a couple of very dirty glass candlesticks. I'm going to put those aside and clean those, I think. There's more candlesticks in the back of there. That little paisley looking round container has matches in it. Then we have an eye protection stone. We have a little, it actually glows in the dark, little snake holder that I have these elemental symbols in that I can use in spellwork. And then if we go down, we have actually this, which will go up on the altar later this month, is a Yule. You might have seen it in another altar tour that I did once before. It's just a little Yule backing shrine that I'll put up when I do my Yule celebrations. Hope this isn't totally wobbly. We have a little triple spiral altar tile that I made there sitting on a glass bowl, and that's got my crow skull. This little glass perfume bottle has moon water in it. We've got some spell scrolls in that moon phase cauldron. We have my incense burning cauldron. We have a bottle of Kaliak anointing oil that I use to anoint myself when I'm working with her. The marble hand cooler that I love. It's got a very earthy representation for me. So it's interesting this time around, and I don't normally do this, or don't you always do this, but the left-hand side of my altar is very much the feminine, and the right-hand side is the masculine. So we have my beautiful Kaliak ritual rattle that I use also to bring in the Kaliak to call her in or to work with her. That was also made by the Connaught Witch. I have this little incense burner that's very cute. I don't have it going at the moment, but the smoke comes out of the chimney, so it's quite sweet. A little success stone that I was using with a spell work I was doing. This is an offering to Goddess of a pomegranate, because it's pomegranate season, sitting in the pomegranate bowl that I made. We have a little brass cauldron that is used for all the messy bits, the spent matches, the tongs, the bits and pieces, that incense sticks, and this is some tree sap resin that I don't really use it. I've had it for years. It came in a subscription box. I actually think I might crush it up and use it as loose incense, or add it to loose incense mixes. This is actually a little spell work I'm doing with some healing oil. That's charging on my healing sigil block with some healing stones. I don't know if you want a closer look at the madness that is inside here. It's very chunky oil. In the center of the altar at the moment, we have the beginnings of some Yule decorations with the little pudding. And we've got this was today's Yule card ceremony. We've got some green candles, green candlesticks, some stones I'm working with, another candlestick. We've got this little green sari as an altar cloth. We've got a whole lot of herbs and crap sitting on there. That's a spell working I am planning to do later today. Then we have the sort of more masculine side of the altar with these berries, some leucadendrons that came out of a bouquet. They're the only ones still left. We've got this, what is actually fake crystal tower or man-made crystal tower. When I bought it, I was under the impression that I was receiving genuine clear quartz, but it's not. It's a type of glass. It's fine. It's still pretty, I guess. So we have a little incense burner and we have a real quartz crystal point here. My quartz generator, which is cracked, but it still works. We have the little snake with the crystal ball. We have some cleansing material in here. This is, I think that, yep, that's rosemary bundle I made. We've got some Palo Santo and we have some more little bits and pieces, a spoon and some tongs for working things. You can see just in the back there a little owl candle and a selenite sphere and this beautiful triquetra bell. Try not to burn myself on the incense. So this little moon phase incense holder, which is about to get tipped over, so I'm just going to move it. A little sun stone that I painted, and this is an incense burner for when you don't want to char it and create too much smoke. It just warms the herbs with the candle. I actually found this part in a charity store, and then this is just a sieve, but it works really well. Pop your herbs in there, light the candle at the bottom. Then we have my pagan prayer book, which I use fairly regularly, so it sits there. And then I thought, because I've never done this before, I thought you might like to see inside the drawers underneath the altar. I know I've been asked about what's in them before, which I don't think I finished the actual altar tour, did I? Because I didn't do these little bits over here. This drawer has nothing in it. And then I have this little taper. It's actually a birthday candle that I use to light Barbara's candle, which is getting really low inside that glass jar. We have my little Corrigan Moon Leopard sigil and a little crystal flower. And then we have just some tarot and oracle decks. This is one I'm really loving, the Urban Crow Oracle at the moment. And a very recent tarot purchase, which is the Tarot of the Cosmic Seed, which is a really, really beautiful collage deck. And we have, sorry, I'm just getting a view of my arm. This is a little stand I found, again, in the charity shop, but then I painted it. Use that for putting cards on. And my little singing bowl is in there. Okay, now we'll get to the drawers, some of which are tidier than others, but I did have a bit of a sort out just recently. So, very long drawers. This is basically tools. So I have, this is my little Sabbath book that I will often open up and have on the altar for the appropriate Sabbath as and when. There's a flip through of that on my channel, so I will link that down below. Then we have at the back here, this sun moon box actually has, if I can get it out, I don't know if I can. Okay, it actually is not very exciting, sorry guys. It's got pipettes in it for when I'm making oils, using essential oils. And then we have another pair of incense tongs, always handy. And this is the unlabeled, but I know what it is. It's actually the furniture polish that I magicked up with some essential oils and some stones, and I use that whenever I clean the altar. I'm going to have to make some more in a bit. Then, I'm just going to swap hands. We have, this was a rosary that I created specifically to pray the novena when I was a Patreon member of Kellyanne Maddox. I'm not currently a Patreon member, but wholly recommend her Patreon. It's great. Her videos on YouTube are also great. I don't use it much now. I really did make it just for that one thing. But it's there in case I ever want to use it again, even if I just want to use it as regular prayer beads. I have a bell. I have some Tibetan Ting Sha, also for sound cleansing. There's some scissors. That's a candle snuffer for just dipping. It's for the big fat candles. So if you want to snuff your pillar candles, this just dips the wick into the wax to put it out. Another spoon. This is a smoke cleansing or air wand. And we have, I might just zoom you out a little bit. There's the brass bell. This is the other candle snuffer that I own, and I've had that since the early 2000s. Came from a discount store, I think. Then we have my Athame, which is really beautiful. I really love the hilt on this. And this is my wand. This is my original wand that I purchased, again, late 90s, I think it would be, with a crystal and Pendragon on it. It's actually made of copper wrapped in leather, which is very faded now, but it was once a deep black. So it's a copper wand. I do have other wands I use, including, if we have a look in here, this is various Harry Potter wands of various sorts, which I do use for magic, but not that often. I've got the tiniest little besom. I have this wand, which is made from, I think, apple. It's a silver branch type wand. Another little, this is to sort of brush energy off the altar, made of pine. I have porcupine quill that I use for inscribing candles. A compass if I want to know the directions, although I actually do know the directions in this house. These are my Kaliak stones that I use to communicate with her. It's an oracle that I created myself. Just got myself some stones and wrote words on them, and I use that to communicate with her. I have my magic mirror, which I've shown again in a previous video. What else have we got? I've got a whole lot of beautiful little spoons, because you always need spoons for scooping incense and spell ingredients. I have my boline. Again, I've shown this before. I think the last time I showed it was on my Instagram. There's a reel on my Instagram about that, but that's something that I was given by my sibling, and then I lost it, and then I found it again, and I decorated it. I have some sprays in here that I use with my gods. I have a manifest one for Kononos with citrine, orange, and frankincense. I have a renewal one that I use with Baba Yaga. That's clear quartz, Palo Santo, and grapefruit. And then I have this one created by Muses of Mystery, which is a Kaliak Crone of Winter spray. So I just spray those to honour my gods. I have some Uses of Mystery Kaliach oil and a dark goddess mist that I use also with Baba Yaga. I have, these are my Kaliach prayer beads that I use to pray a 9-fold prayer of my own creation with her. I have in here some little blackthorn spine spears. What do you call those? Thorns, blackthorn thorns. Again, for inscribing candles, but specifically when I'm doing work with the Kaliach, because blackthorn is one of her herbs. And then I have the 2 pendulums I own, this little aventurine one and the one I use more often, which is a brass one. This is one I've had for a very long time. Okay, and then, break my wand if I'm not careful. So, getting everything back in. This is Incense World, Smoke Cleansing World. So in the back there we have some smoke cleansing bundles and loose incenses, as well as this incense burner. We have some cones in there, various loose incenses, some of which I've made and some of which has been made by creators and I've purchased from them. And then we have a whole bunch of stick incense in here. And yes, it does look like a lot. Looks like an awful lot, doesn't it? But it will definitely get used. There will be nothing going to waste there. I burn a lot of incense. In here at the back we have some little fabric bags for use in spell work when I'm doing magic pouches and things. Spell bags. We have a whole lot of different poppets. Kaliach poppets. This is a personal poppet I made of myself way back when. And we have some crystal ring and taro type cloths and this piece of rabbit fur. Little sun deity. Another Kaliach poppet. So that's the poppet drawer. Oh, the positive potatoes in here at the moment. Oh. And then this is a really heavy drawer, so this is going to be fun to pull out. Oh. Not going to go through everything in here, but this is sort of, there's some art witching sort of spell platforms and bowls and trays and things I've created or purchased that I do spell work in. And these are more sort of items that I also do spell work in different ways. There's a spell box. You know, we might do a candle spell or something. Trays and bowls that we can do spells on. Fairly self-explanatory, I suppose. But if you've got any questions, that's okay. Oh, now over to the other side. Over here, we have, oh, hang on. This is actually quite cool with this desk. There's these 2 extra surfaces that you can pull out, one on either side, at the top above the drawers. Really handy for when you're putting spell ingredients on, especially if your altar's as chockers as mine is. And then we have Candle World. So we've got our taper candles at the back and some electric tea lights. At the front, we've got the birthday candles and chime candles. We have this energy amplifier candle dressing I made. And in here, more spell sort of work. This is for stirring and different colours for different purposes. These are actually bubble wands. So you can add essential oils, magical oils, or herbs to a bubble wand to blow magical bubbles for spell work. And then we have more candles. Oh, Mama's tea lights that she buys in bulk. We have charcoal discs for burning loose incense and the all-important matches. more tea lights. This is a beautiful candle that was given to me by the Smiling Witch, but I managed to break its finger off. Rock on. So I'll have to just sort of wax that back on again. We've got some wax melts, herbal type wax melts for burning. And then we have some sort of shaped candles or larger pillar candles, most of which have either been gifted to me or I found in the charity shop. This is a bit of a it's a bit of a junk drawer, I guess. At the back here, if I pull it out far enough, you will see we have some tiny spell bottles, and these, which are, got some spell orbs, empty spell orbs, and these, which are like spell capsules that you have little intentions in, and they're actually good. You can put them into spell jars and spell pockets and things, or just pop them wherever you want them because they're so tiny. And then we just have a bit of a mishmash of bits and pieces used in spellwork. There's an offering bowl in there. There's another spell jar. We've got, that's some magical ink that I made. Some of my, these are my, there's a couple of charms. There's some spell trays that I think I've shown you before. Oh, look, there's me. Hello. Didn't mean to photograph me, but anyway, not wearing any makeup and I look like crap. Various bits and pieces, more spell trays and spell bottles and candle holders, and these are for making little poppets. And last but not least is more spell container things. I need to go through both of these drawers at the bottom and just get rid of some of this stuff, because some of it's inherited, some of it's charity shop, some of it's other stuff. This is a really good actually spell box that I use, which has got a mirror on the inside, so that's fantastic for spell work. A lot of this stuff is stuff I don't really use. It just sort of ends up sitting in there. Oh my god. So I hope that was interesting. I love seeing what's in people's altars and in their drawers and their magical ingredients and things. Actually, just under there, the big box has my essential oils in it, a couple more larger trays that don't fit in the drawers, and my cauldron for burning stuff in. So there you go, there's my altar. Pop my flowers back. I hope you've enjoyed that. I was thinking about going through the apothecary cabinet with you as well, but I don't even know how I would do that. I can tell you that the top has all the herbs and